The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has asked the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, to refer the allegation by Senator Abdul Ningi that the lawmakers padded the 2024 budget by 3.7 trillion naira to the Economic and Financial Crime Commission and the Independent Corrupt Practice and Other Related Offences Commission for proper investigation and necessary action. The Civic Society Group also called on the Senate President to immediately reinstate whistleblower Abdul Ningi, who was recently suspended from the Senate over his allegation that the lawmakers padded the 2024 budget by irregularly inserting project worth 3.7 trillion naira. Also, SERAP demanded of the Senate President to make a public commitment to discontinue the Patani unlawful constituency project in the next budget cycle. According to a letter dated 16th of March 2024 and signed by SERAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, the organization said referring this allegation to appropriate anti-corruption agencies will be consistent with the laws of the office and the letter of spirit of the Nigerian Constitution 99 as amended. The group went further to say what Senator Ningi has done is a positive act of good leadership, and no whistleblower should be penalized simply for making a public interest disclosure, because without inside information, corruption will be hard to detect, prevent, and combat. So, referring the allegation to the ICPC and other related offences commission like the FCC will improve public trust in the ability of the leadership of the Senate to ensure probity and accountability in the budget process. So, the big question or the big story for today is, will the Senate leadership yield to the call of SERAP? And if they do, will it return back the trust to the Senate? Well, a look at this and more is what this edition of the big story is all about. And we're talking about budget padding and the recent call for the probe by anti-graft agencies. That's what we're looking at today on the big story. We're looking at that very call calling from SERAP and other notable Nigerians insisting that the proper probe should be done as it concerns the 3.7 trillion naira as alleged by the senator representing Bauchi Central, Abdul Ningi. But anyway, he's right here to help us look at all angles to it. And we're talking of no other person but Barrister Emmanuel Erire. Good morning and welcome to the show, sir. Good morning, my brother. Thank you. Now, sir, according to SERAP, they have given the leadership of the Senate to refer the budget padding to the EFCC and the ICPC, and also, not only that, but to reinstate Senator Abdul Ningi within a 7-day period of the publication of their letter, and if not done within the stipulated time, they, and I'm talking about SERAP, would definitely take legal action to compel the Senate to do so on the ground of public interest. So they said. So I'm also compelled to ask you, would there be rights in going to court to compel the Senate, and will such an action be within the legal rights of the group as on behalf of Nigerians, as they said?
Well, my brother, my crew, thank you very much.
Yes.
You see, I'm very happy with the turnout of events that is going on in the 10th Assembly, which is the National Assembly.
Yes.
You see, and I want to also commend the bold step taken by Senator Ningi. You know, it only takes a man who is tired of his system to take the bold step he has taken. I know a lot of them will be, you know, as in, why would you go and do such a thing? A lot of clamor will be going on. And when it was eventually suspended, that was a mistake the Senate made.
Mistake, you say?
Yes, a mistake. You know why? Because there are rules guiding the House, the National Assembly. And if the only reason that was made or given for a suspension is the fact that he raised an allegation which is yet to be investigated and proved with substantial proof, you ought not to suspend such a member. Because suspending...
I would love us to come to that, because I would love to get your legal angle to that. But the question still remains, does SERAP have the right to request for a public probe? And not just a public probe, but the Senate referring this to the House, to the different anti-graft agencies. And like they said, do they have the right to do that for us, Nigerians, in such a request?
Well, SERAP is one body that has actually played a very vital role in restoring the tenets of the Constitution. And I want to commend that group and whoever formed that group, because we were expecting bodies like NLC and other unions, to take this booster, but they are shying away from such responsibilities. But since SERAP was formed, actually was formed, they have taken some boost step, particularly that of economic and accountability of Nigerians. Because if you look at the Freedom of Information Act, it gives provision or makes provision for access to information by the general public. Disclosure. Because if we're in democracy, the beauty of democracy is accountability. Because, mind you, those in the Senate, they are representatives of a constituency or senatorial districts who elected them. So they are our voice. So if there is something going on wrong, we have the right, either individually or as a group, to say, no, this is what is going on. It is wrong. Please do it within the ambit of the law, or do it this way. And when you fail to do so, that's why they gave a provision for recall. That means you are not ready. Let someone who is going to represent our interest go there. But you know, the Nigeria factor, it's difficult to recall a member because of a lot of inducement and all that. Then, SERAP as a socio-economic group have gone to court on different occasions. This is not the first time. But this is the first time they said that no, an insider
blew the leg.
Blew a whistle, not an outsider, an insider. You know, when they talk about this budget padding, you know, this a budget padding first of all manifested during the administration of Obasanjo.
Most certainly.
Yes, and they came into successive government. And we ask ourselves, what is actually padding? Because a lot of people be wondering, what is budget? What is padding? We know budget, you know, the country's income and all that, and how to be spent, But what is padding? And I went to the Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionary 8th edition to see the word padding. We simply mean say, dishonestly add items to bills to obtain more money.
Dishonestly
add items to bills to obtain more money. So in other words, from this interpretation, it's a dishonest act to inflate. If for example, a ministry or department or agency are presented a budget for approval by the National Assembly, which consists of the Senate and the House of Reps. It's okay for social projects to be executed, whether capital or expenditure. The total budget for that ministry is 500 billion. Now, on the face of it, or before the House, is 500 billion. But when it's to be approved, or the copy that is now meant for approval after the competition, for signing, they're not saying 1 trillion. And the question that comes to your mind is, where did 1 trillion emanate from? When we have a copy. So in other words, we have 2 different copies of
additional 500 million.
And additional 500 million. So, and this has been going on over the years. In fact, every legislative tenure, circle, and nobody has deemed it fit to blow it out. Even when some persons outside perceive that or got information that this was what was going on, in fact, we never took it with all seriousness. But this seriousness is now coming from a member, an insider, a senator, not even an House of Rep member, from a constituency, I mean a senatorial district in Bauchi, who said, no, this is what is going on. This is the amount, in fact, when I heard the amount, trillions, that was inserted. For what purpose? We are crying that things are not going well, the economy is not in shambles, and somebody is still trying. So you know, the other day I was even surprised that those SERAP also spoke when they said they want to buy utility cars for each member at the cost of 130 million. And the person asked myself, which roads are they going to drive that car? You are driving a car of 130 million in this present economy on a road that is not accessible, that is not conducive. And where are you driving it to? And you are driving it to government or senatorial district members or constituents to tell them that what? In fact, in some developed climes, in fact, you'll be ignored. Or it will cause a mayhem. Yes. Because you are inciting or making them feel as if they don't know what they are doing. You are representing a constituency. I was expecting somebody to say, no, such money should be channeled to a project so that there will be sincerity on your part that yes, the money voted for your car, you actually dedicated it to the plight of the members of your constituency. But I was afraid that not even any member of the political party
raised any alarm.
Even those in the opposition. They all kept quiet till late.
And they've gotten their own.
And they've gotten their own, they're driving it. So now a member is not saying that, no, I told you on this platform that it will take those of them who destroy the system to put back the system in order. God will not come down. They themselves will destroy it, and it has started.
Okay, now, the reason I'm asking this is because I want us to still remain with Serap. Now, they said they want the allegation to be appropriately taken to the different anti-corruption agencies. And as they stated, I'm talking about Sarah, they said it's consistent with the Constitution. And I'm talking about the 99 Constitution as amended. And even they went further to say that it will be the most lawful thing for the Senate to do. But for me, I'm a bit concerned looking at the Senate doing this. Do you see them doing it? Do you see them really taking this issue to the different anti-graft agencies? And the reason I ask, you've said it yourself, we've had various allegations of budget padding before now. Undermining this will be the first time a high-ranking senator, that's even the head of the Northern Senators Forum, coming out with such weighty allegations. Now, are we going to see this happen? Undermining, because the reason I'm asking you this, if it's consistent with our Constitution, if they do not do so, would they not be running contrary to the law? You're not taking to the anti-graft agencies. And even, do you even see this ever happening? Because this is not the first time we're hearing such allegations. And as of we speak now, nothing over the years have been done as a concern sticking into the anti-graft agencies.
You see, the truth of the matter remains that Serap has taken a very bold step. And if you ask me if the step taken so far is within the ambit of the law, yes. Because one, I know one of the functions of the National Assembly, they have investigative functions. And there is a principle of law which says that you cannot be a judge
in your own case.
So in as much as the allegations have been arisen in the Senate's leadership cannot be seen to be sitting to investigate
their own self,
even though they have that power. Now, Serap are now taking a bold step. They are going to write to the anti-graft agencies. After all, those agencies were formed for a particular purpose. So they should be seen to be working towards those purpose. And there's a petition to them. They have the right to invite the Senate leadership and the senator who has alleged, and investigation will be carried out. And if at the end of the day, my word is that let the anti-graft agency be sincere enough to do a thorough investigation. There should be no form of interference with the investigation. And if they want to do a good job, and it turns out that the allegation the man leveled against the Senate leadership is true, is enough reason for him to be removed, to be impeached. Because between me and you, there have been insinuations that since he emerged as the Senate's president, so many persons have been making a lot of complaints. That in fact there were moves to even impeach him. Attempt to impeach him, you know. So this will be a very good platform. If at the end of the day, from the investigation by the anti-graft agencies, it reveals that he actually was indicted for budget padding. It's a gross misconduct, capable of him being impeached. But my fear, like I said, is for the anti-graft agency, either EFCC or ICPC, as the case may be, to be bold enough to come out to say, oh, Senator Dingy, we have actually investigated with proofs your allegation, because it's a serious allegation against the Senate. The Senate is now on trial.
Yeah, you know, like you just said it, and you've just taken the question out of my mouth, because let's look at it. Can the anti-graft agencies really investigate the Senate? Because it's another powerful arm of government, and we're talking about the legislature. So are we quite sure that they'll be able to investigate the Senate, or this is just like another waste of taxpayers' money? Because at the end totally justified the means. Are we going to see any conviction on the ground? Have we ever, and I repeat, ever seen any conviction of high-ranking senators, especially as it concerns the issue of budget padding? So let's look at it. Are we going to see anything at the end of this, or just another white goose chase, waste of taxpayers' money? Maybe a month from now, 2 months from now, the whole issue will die down and we'll just return back to square one and go and see no more.
If you remember very well, I think that should be during the Jonathan era or Yaradu. Yes, I think that's.
Are you talking of which of the senators?
We are talking about not even senators, House of Rep, Lawa Farouk.
Okay, Mr. Integrity.
Yes, of the subsidy, of the first subsidy stuff, or about when Femi Otedola
alleged to give him $1.
Good. And you know that even though he spent a long period of trial, he has finally been convicted because of the proof. Now that is one out of
many.
Of many.
We'll see even Adolphus Wabara.
Good. So in fact, few, but the issue is that if, that's why I said that, if the anti-graft agencies are ready to work, because like in this case, you and I know that the Senate president, as he is very powerful. Yeah,
a strong arm of government.
You know, not even the Senate president, not even the I'm not talking about the National Assembly, because we have what we call check and balances. So they are not autonomous per se, that they cannot be investigated or removed or indicted or prosecuted for good. But when it comes to issue of corruption, it's a serious allegation. In fact, previous governments have been using that as a slogan, that they are fighting corruption. And because of the fight of corruption, this particular agency, the EFCC and the ICPC, we established. Under the
solely just for
this. Now, an allegation of this nature has manifested. And a member of that same legislative body is the one raising the allegation. And now a group who has been championing the cause of a better Nigeria, economically and socially, and as Serap said, no, everybody cannot keep quiet. But we, as a group, we have been taking this as our mandate. Please, Senate President or at the House of Senate, we give you so period to submit yourself for investigation to anti-graft agency.
But rather than Serap calling for that call, is it not the constitutional mandate of ICPC and EFCC to just take the lead and do the needful, rather than waiting for the Senate now to invite them to come into the issue? By law, they have every right to just investigate the issue when such weighty allegations are on board.
You know the agencies, the anti-graft agencies, or any other institution that is charged with the responsibility of prevention of crime or detection of crime, you know, until there's a formal petition, you can't just act on it. Yes. So you don't expect the ICPC, despite the allegation by the senator, just wade into because what are you coming to do?
Allegations
should be in a written form. And you that have brought such an allegation, you must have your evidential proof.
Yeah, to back it up. So definitely, if there's a petition put forward, either by the senator themselves or Serap now trying to do it. Okay, so that's what Serap is telling the Senate President.
Good. So if he fails, they will formally write to EFCC and ICPC, investigate the leadership based on what has come up. Then on that ground, the anti-graft agency can invite the principal officers to explain to them. And if they are satisfied, they go back. But if they are not, then they take the until finally when they are indicted, then they now have the right to say, okay, we'll charge them to court or we'll take some political resolutions. So ICPC or ESC cannot just wade into the National Assembly because there is an allegation raised by somebody. If the senator, even I was even thinking that having been suspended, it's a good ground for him to
approach them.
To approach the agency that, this is what is on ground. And the result of this revelation, I have been suspended. If I now want to take this matter to
the high heavens.
So if you had done that, Serap will even come with that backing to say, no, let us lend our voice to take that here to kickstart the process. Yes.
Okay, anyway, we're really kickstarting the discussion. We'll deepen it further, but I'll plead with you for us to hold on a bit. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion looking at the recent call by Serap and other stakeholders insisting that the different anti-graft agencies should come or wade into the issue of budget padding. Will it ever happen? Or, like I asked my guest, a waste of taxpayers' money? Well, just only time will tell. But let's go on a break.